Hoo, welcome. Let's go. Am I the butthole for telling the new neighbors that they got what they paid for, including being shunned by the neighborhood? Where I live, real estate developers have started snatching up family homes, bulldozing them, and building enormous $2 million houses on the plots of land. The houses also stick out horribly in terms of aesthetics. Think single-level brick homes with a 3-level giant white and black box in the middle. My home's been in my family for several generations. We have always been known for having a large, beautiful garden. We invited over kids to help with gardening. We gave away so many veggies. We'd hold parties, etc. It's been a neighborhood treasure for years. Until developers snatched up the lot next door, bulldozed and erected an enormous house that blocked out the light to most of the gardens. Many of us tried to fight it with the city, but everything was denied. It was heartbreaking. Our neighborhood has been changed forever. This was a link to my family, and I almost have had to go through a grieving process for it. The new owners moved in and were not welcomed warmly by people in the neighborhood. I avoided them for as long as I could, other than politely waving or nodding. It was a young couple in their early 20s. We finally came face to face, and the woman asked if we could chat. She said that they felt like maybe they'd done something wrong when they moved in, or if they aren't pulling their trash bins or something, being too loud, etc., because people haven't been very friendly. The guy says that he's surprised considering it felt like a nice and somewhat affluent neighborhood. And given the price, he was expecting friendly neighbors. I asked if they had done any research about the area. They said that they moved from California, so no. I said that maybe that was their mistake. They said they didn't know what I meant, so I asked if they'd ever looked in our backyard. They said yes and said they think the garden is cute. I said yes, the garden that now has about half less sunlight than before that house was built was a neighborhood treasure. The guy said, well, it's not our fault you built the garden there, is it? I said, well, you guys got what you paid for. $2 million for a house that everyone in the neighborhood hates. I said that I hoped it was worth it and wished them a nice day. When I told another neighbor about the exchange, she told me that she does feel bad for them, moving without having any idea what they were getting themselves into. Am I the butthole for telling them that they got what they paid for? Yes, you're definitely the butthole. Everyone in your neighborhood sucks. Like, they just bought a house, they didn't build it. Whatever. Am I the butthole for taking my newborn son and going to my mom's house because my husband's mom didn't save me any food for dinner? I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I gave birth to my son 5 weeks ago. My husband's mom has been camping in the living room ever since and inviting people over, making a mess in the house, etc. I said nothing, because if I opened my mouth, my husband would start scolding me, saying his mom is there to help and I should be grateful. What I did was ignore her and focus on my son. I handle feeding, diaper change, cleaning, wiping. I only get a few hours of sleep, so my husband's mom isn't really helping with the baby. But I thought to myself, well, at least she cooks for us. Last night, I was in the bedroom breastfeeding my son. I knew I was late for dinner, but I thought that my husband and his mom saved a plate for me. Once I was done with my son, I walked out of the room and saw my husband and his mom sitting, watching TV. I asked about dinner, and my husband said it was probably on the stove. As I was walking towards the kitchen, his mom loudly said that she didn't save me any food. I was absolutely shocked. I asked her why, and she simply said, well, we didn't see you at dinner table, so I thought you weren't hungry. I lost it and yelled that I was feeding my son. Of course I was hungry. I was actually starving. She shrugged her shoulders and said it wasn't her fault I didn't show up for dinner. But she knew damn well that I was with my son and hadn't eaten a thing in hours. My husband asked me not to raise my voice at his mom, but I told him that he saw what happened and didn't think about me being hungry and needing food. He lashed out, asking what the heck I wanted him to do, and I said, I don't know, maybe save some food for me? She defended him, saying it was selfish of me to basically berate him for eating his dinner after working for long hours at the department. An argument ensued, and I went inside the bedroom, packed a small bag for me and my son, called my brother to come take me to Mom's house, and my husband blew up at me as I was making my way out. We argued at the door, and he told me that what I was doing was uncalled for and childish. I told him I couldn't take his mom anymore. He said I should be ashamed of myself for talking about her like that after she literally put her life on pause so she could help me out. My brother came and I got into the car and left. He picked some food for me on the way and I ate like a hungry bear. My husband never stopped calling though. In his last text, he called me nuts and demanded I return today. But I said that I miss my mom, that I like it here in her clean home with her healthy food and would like to stay for a while. He's lost it and got his family involved, accusing me of keeping his son away from him and punishing him over food. Edit. Okay, to those who are saying that I'm keeping my husband away from his son, I promise you that he has full access to him, but chooses not to come over simply because he hates my mom and refuses to be with her in the same room. How long am I going to stay here? There's no telling, but at least I'm being pampered and treated like a princess by mom, dad, brothers. Heck, I couldn't get this treatment in my own home. As for my husband, he can come over to mom's house if he wants to see his son so badly. But I doubt he'll do it, since he's a very prideful person, and this might hurt his ego. One more question to answer, cause a lot of people asked me to clarify. Yes, department means police department. He's a police officer. I'm sorry if you got confused, but I thought it was clear. Edit. Okay, I felt sorry for him and decided to send him a couple of pictures that I took of our son sleeping. And what was his response? A long wall of text berating me, left and right, and claiming that I was rubbing it in his face, that he can't come see his son because of you know what. He called me the B word, which he never did until now, and I'm shaken. And so mad right now, because I really thought I was doing something nice and considerate after having sympathy for him. I've decided to get the rest of my stuff tomorrow because I need more time and space to be able to think about what he's done and said. I feel terrible right now, but at least I got dinner for tonight, unlike when I was at my own home when his mom first came. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry you had to become hangry. Am I the butthole for asking someone with an invisible disability to move seats? Me, a 28-year-old man, and my partner, a 31-year-old woman, were recently riding the underground. My partner is 8 months pregnant and looks heavily pregnant too. No one could mistake her for being any different. She's not particularly mobile either now, and we've taken to riding the underground more, even for shorter journeys, just to allow her to rest more frequently when we are out and about. We jumped on the Circle Line today, and it was a particularly busy service during the rush hour, with people packed in tightly and standing throughout the aisle. On trips like this, I would look for one of the nearby priority seats reserved near the doors, and would ask someone to vacate it, to allow my partner to sit down. On all occasions up until now, we have never had a problem. Those who were sat in the seats could see my partner would struggle to stand on a busy train, and will give up the seat without hesitation. On this particular day, one of the seats is occupied by an elderly gentleman with a walking stick, probably mid-80s, and one by a younger man, probably mid-20s. I make what I think is my best judgment call and ask the younger man if he would give up the seat for my partner. He replies that he has autism and that his This ability allows him to use a priority seat too. I do understand that people have less visible disabilities and that under normal circumstances he should be allowed to use the priority seat. However, I also felt that despite this, it wasn't a physical impairment and he was more capable of standing than my partner, who had been stood up for a long time and really needed to rest at this point. When I tried to explain this to him, he became very defensive and called me an asshole for not appreciating his needs too. Eventually, others began to overhear what was being said, and someone else voluntarily offered up a normal seat. But the experience left me wondering if I was a butthole for insisting this person needed a priority seat less than my girlfriend. So, am I the butthole for asking someone with an invincible, non-physical disability to vacate a priority seat for my heavily pregnant partner? Just asking him once? No. But insisting? Yes. Well then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed as always. Like and subscribe please. I would be very happy. Bye bye.